This is a beginner tutorial to create a winter, Christmas-themed snow globe. Open Blender. I will be using the newest Blender version 4.0.2. Almost all the layout and button labels are the same as the last versions. This is a beginner tutorial, we won't be doing anything complicated. This tutorial is meant for you to get used to the Blender environment, so it doesn't matter what version you use. Okay, this is a general Blender project, with a cube, a light, and the main camera. Go ahead and press shortcut X on the keyboard to delete the cube. We won't be needing it now. When creating 3D models or 2D drawings, a must-have is a reference to the idea of how the end product at least must look like. I have this drawn sketch, which I will be using as a reference for this 3D model. I will go ahead and upload it into the Blender workspace. Select Object Image Reference, then select the image file and press Load Reference Image. Here is the image. I will change the rotation degrees to X90, Y0, and Z121, and rescale using the shortcut S and the cursor, and position using the axis to a place where I can see it while working on the models. Now we are all set, let's start creating the models. First, the base. Go to Add, Mesh, Circle. Click on Object Mode, select Edit Mode on the drop-down menu. While all vertices are selected, press F to fill the circle. This will create a circular plane. Rearrange the reference image to have a better view. Okay, now for the Christmas tree, we will use cones. Go to Add, Meshes, Cone. Scale it down using shortcut S. Move it up and place it on the circular plane. Copy and paste to duplicate. Select the copied cone, move up and scale down. Repeat this 4 times. Reposition the cones to make it look better. Now let us add some ornaments for our Christmas tree. We'll create tiny spheres. Go to Add, Mesh, UV Sphere. Scale it down. Go to Object, Shade Smooth. Click on the Y-axis to go to the XZ plane. Move the sphere to the surface of the tree. Copy and paste the sphere several times and place them in random places. We also have to shade smooth each cone of the Christmas tree. Then select all 4 cones while pressing Shift, right-click, and choose Join, to join all 4 cones to one individual object. Let us name the tree object in our workspace. Keep naming objects as a habit even as a beginner, because when dealing with a lot of meshes and larger projects, named objects makes life a lot easier. Select the object to be named. In this case, the joined cones. Click on the highlighted name on the outliner, type the name tree. The Christmas tree is done. Select them and move them aside for now. For the snowman, we'll use 2 UV spheres. Go to Add, Mesh, U-Sphere. Rescale. Duplicate it. Move the copied sphere up and scale down for the head. Use Shade Smooth on both spheres. Now for the eyes. We'll duplicate one of the tree's ornaments, rather than adding a new mesh and scaling down. After copy and paste, move it onto the snowman's head and position it accordingly. We'll use the same sphere for the buttons of the snowman. Place them in a line. For the nose, we will add a cone, scale it down, rotate it, and position it. For the snowman's scarf, go to Add, Mesh, Torus. Scale down, move it up to the neck area. Go to Object, Shade Smooth. Okay, now we have to name the new objects in our workspace. This makes it easier for us rather than having names like Sphere 1, Sphere 2. First, join the two spheres using Cmd+J. Click on the highlighted name on the outliner. Rename the object as Snowman. Join the two eyeballs and rename it as Eyes. Join the three buttons and rename as Buttons. Rename the torus object as Scarf. Rename the cone as Nose. Creating the hat. To have the workplace clean. Select all meshes and press H to hide all meshes. Go to Add Mesh Cube. Resize it a bit using the shortcut S. Click on the Object mode, select Edit mode. Click on Face Selection mode. Select the top face of the cube. We have to scale this plane. If you use shortcut S to scale, this will scale the plane with the other edges of the mesh. We don't want this, so to avoid this, we will duplicate the plane and scale the new plane. Press E for extruding, don't move the cursor. We want the new plane to be in the exact same position as the original plane. Press the left mouse button once, then press S to scale. This will only scale the face. Now do the same for the lower plane as well. It should look like this after scaling the faces. Now go to Modifiers tab. generate subdivision surface. It will look something like this. Increase the levels up to 4 of viewport and also of render. Select the lower plane and scale it up a bit. Then select the rotate button and rotate through the y-axis, the green axis. Now when you look down you will see these two vertices are lower than the plane. Go to vertices mode. Select them and move up. Let's also rotate the upper plane. Looks good now. It's time to put the hat on the snowman. Resize the hat. Unhide all the meshes. Let's position the hat, scale it down to the size of the snowman's head. Let's also add the smooth modifier to the hat. Go to Object, Shade Smooth. Now we can move on to create the branches for the snowman's hands. Go to Add Mesh Cylinder. Scale it down using shortcut S and the cursor. Make it longer using the Scale button and selecting the Z-axis. Then rotate and place on the snowman. Go to Edit Mode, Face Mode, extrude this face. Then use modifiers, Generate Subdivision Surface. Levels up to 4. Copy and paste, then resize. Place at the edge of the mesh. Duplicate this branch to have 2 tiny branches. Readjust the plane of the larger branch. After perfectly placing it in the right position, click and select all 3 mesh and press Cmd+J to join them. Then copy and paste, Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V. Go to the rotation section Z-axis and type in 180 degrees. Then use G to grab it and position on the snowman. Check how they look from far. Reposition if needed. We'll also scale them up and position them at the center of the base circle. Now we'll create a mountain effect on the base circle to show the snow buildup on the ground. Go to Modifiers tab, Generate Subdivision Surface. Increase the levels to 5 both on Viewport and Render. Click on this tiny arrow and choose Apply. Otherwise we won't be able to modify the vertices created. Click on Object Mode. Select Edit Mode. You can now see all the vertices created by the applied subdivision surface. To deselect everything, click on the empty area in the workspace. Now select one vertex. Select the proportional button on the top. And grab the vertex through Z-axis. You will see all the vertices around the area of this gray circle will have the effect when moving only one vertex. Now select the Move tab that appeared on the bottom. Select the proportional size and type 0.4. This will make only the vertices within a radius of 0.4 to have the effect of the positioning, creating this bump on the surface. Now go ahead and create random bumps around the plane for the heavy snow effect. Just select a vertex and move through the axis. Adding materials. First select the Christmas tree. Go to the Its Materials tab, click on New. We will keep the surface as default principal BDSF for all of the meshes here. Then click on the base color, choose a bit darker green color that contrasts with white. Rename the material as tree green. It is very important to name your materials. If you think of using the same material for a number of objects, this comes handy when dealing with bigger projects with a lot of meshes and materials. So it is best to keep it a habit as a beginner. Use the same way to create the other materials. The snow material. The black buttons material. Now for the eyes. Since this is a beginner tutorial, I would like to have just black colored eyes. For this we have the previous material we created for the buttons. Rather than creating a new material, you just go to the Materials tab after selecting the eyes, click on this drop-down menu, which will show all the materials we already have created. Choose the material named black. This helps a lot. Less materials created, more meshes colored. Use the same black material on the hat of the snowman. Use a dark blue color material on the scarf. Use different colors for the ornaments on the Christmas tree. Use orange color material for the snowman's nose. Check out in different angles. Looks good. Now use a brown color on the tiny branches, the hands of the snowman. Okay, we have finished the inside of the globe. Now we have to create the snow globe itself. Zoom out and select all the meshes. Use H shortcut key to hide all the meshes. Go to Add, Mesh, UV Sphere. Click on X in the axis to get the view of the YZ plane. This will be the base or the stand of the globe. Click on the Object mode, select Edit mode. Draw a rectangle area around all vertices below the Y-axis. Oh, let's go to the wireframe mode. This is like a X-ray mode of the solid mesh, so that the vertices behind will not be left out when selecting. Redraw a rectangle to select all the vertices. You may have noticed that the orange color representing the selection became more prominent, which implies that all the vertices are selected. Press X and select vertices to delete these vertices. Now select the top 2 rings of vertices and repeat the deletion process. The mesh should look like this after deletion. Now select all the vertices of the top ring using shortcut option A. And press F to fill the area. Do the same to the lower ring. This is how it should look like. Now add another UV sphere, which will be the glass globe. Click Add Modifier Generate, Solidify. Increase it to 0.05 m. Again, add Modifier, Generate, Subdivision Surface. Increase the levels up to 3 of Viewport and also of Render. Do the same for the base of the globe. This is how it should look like. I will change the position of the globe a bit. Alright, this will do. Now on to materials. Select the globe and click on Materials tab. New. Change the name of the material to glass. I will change the viewport to Material Preview to see the materials better. Choose the surface, glass BDSF. Roughness to 0. Then go to Object, Shade Smooth. Now select the base of the globe. Go to its Materials tab. New. Rename the material as Metal Red. Increase the metallic property to 0.75. The materials looks like this. By default, Blender is rendering in EV, but we'll be using cycles to render. To change this, go to Render tab, Render Engine, select Cycles in the drop-down menu. I will reduce the viewport samples, so that it will render in the viewport quicker even though it will have a low quality. Then select the Render Preview. These are the real view of the materials created. Now I will unhide all the models we created before. I will rename the globe and the stand of the globe. Hide the globe and the stand. Select all the meshes with the mouse. Move upwards. Unhide the globe and rescale using shortcut S. The meshes to fit inside the globe. Think it's better to scale up the snowman and the Christmas tree. Use S shortcut to do it. I will place the tree a bit closer to the snowman. Okay, let's check the render preview. Looks good. Now let's add the tiny snowballs around for the snow effect in the globe. You can go to Add, Mesh UV Sphere and scale it down. But since we already have small spheres created as ornaments for the Christmas tree, I am going to copy and paste this yellow sphere. Move up. Deselect both spheres. It is important to deselect both spheres cause when we change the material it will affect the original object, not the copied one. Now select the sphere we just copied. Go to Materials tab. Click the drop-down menu, select the material we previously created called snow. Okay, this is a single snowball. Now we will duplicate this snowball and scale them to different sizes and position them on random places. Go to the top view using the Z-axis button to make sure the snowballs will stay inside the area of the globe. Okay, looks like the snowballs cover the entire area of the globe. You can now go to Render Viewport to check how it actually looks inside the glass globe. Since it is a glass material, it needs lights to reflect on the material to look like real glass. So I will quickly set up some lights in the surroundings so that we can see reflections on the glass snow globe. And here is the end result.